Welcome to the webinar. My name is Trey Smith, and I'm a founder that's been creating companies online since 2009, which is like an ancient dinosaur history when you look at the internet. Been doing this a long time, internet marketing. I love marketing to death, live and breathe this stuff, love creating products. I've created tons of different products in different niches, and we'll talk about some of those today. So listen, here's what I've learned after doing this a ton, doing over 50 million in sales, doing this stuff online. Here's what you need to do in order to crush it. Guys, it's not that hard. This is it. You have to have a product, all right? You have to have a product to sell, something that people want. Then you have to have traffic. You have to have a way that people can find that product. And then finally, you have to have sales. Once people actually get there, you have to have a way to tell them about the product and get them to purchase. That's it. That's what you're going to see me build today, right? We're going to build a product. We're going to create a traffic source, and then we're going to convert those people with a high converting sales website. You're going to see me do all of this in a span of minutes. And we're going to automate all of it with AI. But first thing is first, let's build a great book. And then let's have the perfect website out there to sell it. One that's high converting, that gets people excited, that they jump on the chance to buy this book. All right? So we're going to do that with two pieces of software. The first one's called Bookle, and the second one is called Pages. You're going to watch me build a book, and then Autofunnel is going to turn it into a complete sales website, and then we're going to promote it with Podcaster all automatically. So the first thing I'm going to do is generate a new book by clicking the plus sign. Now, this book is going to be called the Social Media Marketing Playbook. And we're going to create a book here that's going to help people grow their social media. AI is going to do it. And remember, the cool thing about Bookle is it's the only AI software in the world that creates books with your ideas in it. So if you actually know about social media or whatever you're building, you can actually inject those ideas into the software. So for a description here, we have this in-depth guide teaches you how to get followers and dominate social media in any niche market. So I'm going to click on next here, and then we could talk about our audience, and I think that's a good idea. We're going to say entrepreneurs, and then the writing tone. Let's do this kind of relaxed. I want this to be kind of a chill book that people really enjoy, they read, and don't take too serious. We're going to sell this book for like $4. This is going to be the very beginning of our huge entire business funnel, right? As you see, we're going to build out so much cool stuff, but this is the beginning part. Now, for structure, I don't really have anything in there. I did have a specific thing I wanted to add to chapter 1, but I'll show you how I'm going to do that in a second. All right, so here we go. We have a bunch of different covers on the right-hand side that we can choose from, and whatever we think is going to go most with the vibe of this book. And you know what? This is a new one that we just released. We have new covers consistently coming out. Of course, you can change the colors of them down here, but I really like this one, so we're going to go with that. Now, I wanted to make sure we had an introductory paragraph, and we do, setting the stage, foundations of social media marketing. Here I'm going to put in something because I want to add a little bit of my flavor, my uniqueness to this book. So I'm going to say in this section, make sure to mention my name is Trey Smith, and I've been marketing on social media since 2005. Also mention they should post at least once per day on each social network, and I call this the spread method. Now I'm going to add this note, and I made that up on the spot, but even with coming up with unique names or calling something cool like that, Bookle will actually figure it out and then come up with a whole entire reason behind it, even a backstory. It's pretty amazing stuff. Now I could do a small, a medium, or a large book. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and do a large book, and now Bookle is generating the book for me. Awesome, and here we have our book that was made in a matter of minutes. We even have sub-headlines here. Of course, I can change out any of this, the author name, etc. And you can see we have setting the stage, foundations of social media marketing. All right, so this does an intro. This is great. It's writing in this relaxed style. It's introducing me, talking about all of my history, just like I put in there. Now let's see if it brings up that method I talked about. And I bet if I go down here, okay, check this out. Everyday hustle, the power of daily post. When it comes to social media marketing, consistency is key, right? So it's taking those notes and expanding on them. Think of it as the daily hustle. And this is in that relaxed tone. So it's showing up and making your mark every single day. The next part, boom, introducing the spread method. And it does it all for you. So pretty cool stuff. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this book, and we're done with Bookle. We could edit this. We could regenerate parts out of it if we wanted to. We'd use AI and do all kinds of cool stuff. But literally, that's how fast it is to make the first part of your business what people are going to see when they first see you advertising online or clicking links in your bio, etc. So now let me show you how with Autofunnel, we're going to turn this into a whole entire sales page to sell the book. So as you can see, we have our book right here. We can copy a public URL and share that with friends and family. We can duplicate this book. We can download multiple different copies like PDF and EPUB, all kinds of fancy stuff. One for Word here as well. But instead, I'm going to go over here to funnels. And I'm going to create a brand new funnel, and I'm going to choose to sell a book. Now, this is going to walk me through exactly what we're about to build. We're about to have a lead page, a book sales page, a checkout page, an upsell page, and a thank you page, all right? So what does that mean? First, we're going to have a lead page. We're going to collect people's email. That way, if they don't purchase the book, we can follow up with them. We're going to use AI to automatically follow up with them with one of the new products we're going to show you today. Then after that, we're going to have the book sales page, right? That's going to tell them all the benefits of the book, get them excited so they pull the trigger. Then we have the checkout page. That's where they're going to put in their credit card information. Then we have the upsell page. That's where you can sell a course and some other stuff if you want to. It's optional. And then, of course, the thank you page. Here's a link to your book. We're glad that you are checking this stuff out. Thank you for being a customer. All right, so I'm going to click next here. And then now we're going to choose our book. And obviously, we have the social media marketing playbook right there. It's going to pull in all my stuff. I'm going to sell this one for $5 flat. Click next. And then it's asking me about my upsell page. Now, I'm actually not going to do an upsell on this for the sake of brevity. So we're going to skip that. And now we're choosing the tone for the sales copy on the page. And you know what? Let's go with something that, let's do a confident. I want to have a confident tone of the sales copy. Not too cocky, but definitely a little confident so they feel like, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about. And then I can choose a design style that I want to be inspired with this. And you know what? I think I'm going to go with this one, kind of a minimal design style there. And then we'll click next, and it's going to build out everything. You can see it happening right here. The lead page, the book sales page, the checkout page, and the thank you page, all with AI. And boom, here we go, the social media marketing playbook. This is a whole entire business built around the book with Bookle. So we can click here and look at the sales page. Awesome, so this looks great. I really like the background image. I think we chose the right picture. It makes the book pop. The book looks awesome. We have really strong sales copy written as well. And that's the cool thing about this book pitch page. It's actually a long form sales copy that's based on the same one that I used to sell 28,000 different books. So I know this one works extremely well. So you can see we have these cool images again in that same art style. We go down, we have bullet points, we talk about the book, all the different stuff in the book, et cetera, because we have all of that data inside of Autofunnel. So of course, this is just the sales page. We also have the lead page, the checkout page, and the thank you page where they can download their book once they purchase. You can see with the funnel, you can collect leads, you can follow up with those leads, you can even text people, you can do the coolest stuff ever to follow up and get sales, right? You have to have all that done, but we just did it in like 5 minutes. But now, how are you going to get people to actually find out about your book and your product and your message? Well, a few different things you could do. You go advertise for sure, right? People definitely make a lot of money with their business when they go advertise with like Facebook ads. But it's expensive and it's risky, and you got to be prepared to go in the hole a good bit, spend a bunch of money hoping it works, right? So one thing that's free that works extremely well, and it's not saturated like a lot of the stuff out there is. Go upload to the Kindle store, and you're going to see how saturated it is right now on Amazon, right? Something that's not is podcast. Because podcasts are hard to make. It's difficult to go sit down and record a 60-minute podcast once a week. Some people even do it daily. Can you imagine, right? How much time it would take to actually go do that? So we thought about how to solve this because we know how powerful it is. How many podcasts have you listened to and you're sitting there and you hear an advertisement, you're like, oh, that sounds cool. Imagine this. Imagine that you are into making craft beer or training your dog. So you have a podcast specifically about dog training, and it goes super detailed about it. And then you have a dog training book that's advertised in it. Hey, if you want to learn more, I mean, that's going to work extremely well. It's so targeted. we started doing something called microcasting because of this new technology. I'm going to show you in a second that can create podcasts. This is where you can go for an even smaller niche. You could have a whole entire podcast series that just teaches people how to train German Shepherds, all right, or Labrador Retrievers, and that's it. A very subset, a specific dog. Now, normally, it would be way too hard to go out there and do a podcast on this, right? It would be too small of an audience. But there's 800 dog breeds. You could create 800 podcasts if you can use AI that all are laser targeted towards specific groups of people. All right, we have another person who's really into car engines. He has a podcast about car engines. All right, so there's a lot of different opportunities and ways you can do this. But podcast is a great free way. People are constantly searching for their passions, for their niches, for the stuff that they're really interested in through podcast. And if you can attach and create a market for that, it's pretty amazing. But there is a trick here. The podcast has to be great. It can't just be okay, right? It's got to be really, really good. So how do you do that? Let me show you Podcaster. This is pretty cool. It actually creates great, amazing podcasts, just like our other software, Bookle, writes great books. And it's pretty amazing. So let me show it to you. So you can see I have a bunch of different podcasts here, but I'm going to add a new one now. And we're going to go ahead and already have this figured out. It's going to be called Social Media Rockstar Podcast. We're going to use this to promote our book and our new business, right? We're using all of these tools to dominate this little market and be known in the social media space. So I'm going to click on next here. Now Podcaster is creating images for our podcast. So we have a few different ones to choose from. I like this one here. We can also change the graphics around, even change the whole design. And I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to click on next. Now I'm going to choose music for the podcast. When we started building out Podcaster, we noticed it was really boring if you don't have any music in there. So we're using AI to generate music for you that's going to fade out in the beginning. So I can choose from all these different options, but I'm going to do piano and we'll throw in a little bit of guitar. So you can see now it's pulling from the AI system and creating these. And these are all copyright free that you can use. Here, I'll play you this one here. So pretty cool stuff. And you can use these as much as you want and generate new ones all the time. So I'm going to select that one and then we're going to click next. Now we can choose a voice for our podcast. Now we also sync up to 11 Labs. So if you want to use your own voice, they have the best in the world to clone your voice. And we're going to have solutions for that too. But at launch, you'll be able to use 11 Labs if you use that, or use one of these great voices that we have here. So actually, like James, let's listen to that one super fast.
In this episode, we're going to cut through the noise and give you the straight up truth about what it really takes to build your audience.
All right, I think that's going to go great with the music. So we're going to go with that and click next. Now we have two options here. First off, if you want to write your own transcript, you can totally do that with Podcaster. All right. You don't have to use AI if you don't want to actually generate the text in the transcript. So I'm going to put in my episode name here, and that's going to be called Getting Followers and Traffic, the Truth. That's going to be the first episode of my social media marketing podcast. And then for tone, I think I'm going to go with relaxed here. I think that'll be good. And then the description, I already have one as well, all right, which offers a deep dive into the world of social media marketing, providing listeners with expert advice on building a robust online presence. All right, so we're going to use all this data, just how Bookle makes books, just like Autofunnel makes pages, to build out your podcast. All right, so now we're generating the transcript and we can see that live. So welcome to the Social Media Rockstar Podcast. I'm your host, Adam. Now you can change any of this that you want. And in today's episode, we'll take a deep dive into the latest trends on social media and find out the truth about getting followers and traffic. All right, so I'm going to confirm I like that. I think that sounds good. Now we're going to be building out the episode artwork as well. You have the option where you can just have a single piece of artwork for everything, or you can do this instead. I think I'm going to go with this one here, and we're going to generate. Awesome. So it's already generated. This is the first episode in our podcast. We can download this. We can look at the transcription, or I can change out the art or give it a play.
Welcome to the Social Media Rockstar Podcast. I'm your host, Adam. And in today's episode, we'll take a deep dive into the latest trends on social media and find out the truth about getting followers and traffic.
So pretty cool stuff. You can generate complete podcasts, long form, and have them out on a weekly basis that promotes your business without actually having to get on a microphone and write the whole thing out. And this is the only software in the world that does it. All right, so guys, as you can see, now you really have it all, right? So now you have a book that is professionally created. It sounds great. It has all of your original content. It looks great. Then we have a website where we can sell that. Even a full funnel. When a funnel is just multiple pages of a website, right? We have a lead page. We can collect emails. We can build an email list now. We can sell the product, the book to them. We can even have other products if we want to sell to them as well. We have everything. Then we have the podcast. Right? So now we can have as many podcasts out there, as small of market, as big of market, whatever we want to do to promote this book. We have everything that you need beginning to end. And here we are like hitting the 25, 30 minute mark. Pretty crazy stuff.